the other video did well, might as well make another one, shall we? Yeah, I didn't have to clap that time. Oh well, big edit fail. What up, y'all? It is me again, G.C.R. Productions, aka G.C.R., Genesee County Foamer, Slenderman, D-Money, D. Todd Wills, the guy with the shitbox Chevy Impala, or just Damon. Any of those names work. So for today's discussion video, let's just put it this way. Have any of y'all gotten word that there was this really neat train coming your way towards your area that you're currently at, like a heritage unit or just a generally good lash up, and then you missed said train in question because you got distracted or some bozo said, oh, it's already in this location. So then you desperately tried chasing it to catch up to it and catch it somewhere else, and then you, well, miss it again. So then you get all pissed off and you did all that running around for absolutely nothing and just give up. Well, as overly specific as that was, today I'm just going to be talking about one of the many times that has happened to me, as well as a good majority of my friends who were along for this ride, to be specific. But this time, though, this story, well, this time it was just so dumb, like just so goofy that I thought it was worth talking about. And mostly it was just the sole definition of how about you hope in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. And wonder why I say that? Well, here's why. So to begin this story, on this wonderful Sunday of June 2nd, 2024, me, my buddy Ryan, and of course is your guys' fan favorite, David Collins, all made up a plan prior to this day to railfan for a day in Deshler, Ohio, just for kicks and, well, for other reasons, but mostly just for kicks and to also get together. We don't really hang out as a group that often. So then we settled on a Sunday while we were planning this because we had to work around each other's work schedules and whatnot. Although I was trying to avoid going out on a Sunday because typically the railroads are dead on Sundays. As we all got through the week, the day finally came around and I had to wake up at 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Yes, that freaking early to snag all my buds and head south at a good time. So, no big deal-ish. At that point in time, I literally have not gotten more than 6 hours of sleep for that entire week due to work and other dumb railfanning adventures like this one. So, yeah, that's fun. So then on that morning, I obviously got up a little later than planned because of my tired 6'3" ass. Like, my bones over here were literally making creaking sounds at that point, but no biggie. So then I got dressed, brushed my teeth, drove a little, and then filled the car up at my local speedway and started heading south, the usual stuff. I also purchased my regular morning energy drink because, you know, I gotta start myself up like that. Or I might just have a horrible caffeine addiction. But anyways, I picked the boys up, got some food on the way, and we arrived to Deshler between 7:30 and 8 a.m. And we were immediately met with a few trains on the Willard sub. And sure, from the looks of it, that was the usual, and we also didn't really catch anything good while we were there. But, well, we did get the Spirit of Birmingham as well as a KCS unit, both on the Toledo sub, but that was about it, and both of those things were trailing anyway. But it was still really busy over there for a Sunday, which is very neat and surprising to say the least. Well, kinda. It's Deshler. It usually delivers. But maybe at this time, North Baltimore was sending out their trains out west back to back like a guy at a very certain bar throwing out dollar bills at very certain people, making it rain kind of stuff, you know? And well, that was indeed what North Baltimore was doing, and that's how I visualize it, I guess. So then, after hours of sitting at the park, shooting certain trains under our favorite CPL bridge spot here, while also watching GVO after GVO go through what feels like CSX hell, we finally got some word about some saucy trains coming near the area. Oh, here we go. First up on the list was NS 1072 on NS 269 on the Chicago line, but it was trailing even though we thought it was was going to lead, but mainly we suspect that it was going to come through Millbury or something until God only knows how long. And mind you, I was running on limited time, and the Chicago line may seem far away, but knowing us, we drive anywhere. Second on the list was CSX 1973, the ugly chassis system heritage unit on M506. And once again, it was trailing because it led M511 the day before to Cincinnati, but except we actually had a chance of catching this one. And the third and final thing on the list was something that caught me and the boys by total surprise. And it was this decently nice lash up on NS303 out of Bellevue, which had a BNSF GEVO leader, as well as a UP SD70 Ace trailing second, and then lastly, NS6963, the Go Rail SD60E trailing third, which is my favorite special NS SD60E. 6920 is a close second. So then this excited the three of us, and then me and Ryan and David sat there with plenty of built-up ambition, although David had a buddy to hang out with in the park. I forgot his name, but he was chill, though. But we were still sitting there pretty excited, and we were talking to some fellow rail fans at the park to kill some time, because at this point, 303 was coming out of Bellevue, but very slowly, and M506 was working in Dayton. So then that kind of caught our attention a little bit, that those two might go through at the same exact time. So we were deciding for a bit on which one we should go out for. But after deciding, well, me deciding, I figured that 303 seemed to be the most feasible, and it was getting closer and closer at the time. So then me and the boys hopped in the car, in the box obviously, and drove over to Leipsic, Ohio, or Leipsic, however you pronounce it, but whatever. So yeah, we arrived to that little town at this crossing in the middle of nowhere per usual to see if it'll come out on us. And surprise, surprise, it didn't. It didn't come out yet because it was taking absolutely forever to even get to Fostoria. However, we managed to snag this random eastbound coke train that popped out of nowhere on us while we were waiting, which was pretty neat. So then after that, we got word that M506 was done working in Dayton and 303 was still east of Fostoria for some stupid reason. So then me, Ryan, and David had the age-old decision to make on what to go out for still, and we all quickly voted on going out for M506, well, re-voted per se. So we drove for about a half an hour to Lima, Ohio, just to catch us south of the yard since it was going to be working there too. And then as soon as we arrived to Lima, a whole lot of shit happened. All of a sudden, NS303 makes its way through Fostoria, like, of course, right when we leave and get to our next destination. And then we quickly received word after that M506 was still somewhere around Sydney, Ohio. Stopped. And for reference, Sydney is not at all close to Lima. So then, needless to say, we all immediately got that good old imaginary slap in the face feeling when we realized this, and we just all said, screw M506, we're not catching that tonight, let's just drive. So we started driving all the way back towards Leipsic, and since I had no idea where I was at, I sadly once again had to bust out old Google Maps to get us there. Old Google Maps, what could go wrong? So I basically got on the route, got into the interstate, and then towards the countryside, and let's just say that I went speeds that shouldn't even be spoken of, all the way through the back roads and everywhere else. Thankfully, unlike the 2816 chase, the roads were relatively clear, but we were all frantically finding our way back to that crossing or just like somewhere else further west, and I was running really low on gas. Like, I was below a quarter tank like this entire time. There was still plenty of doubt in Ryan and David's head overall, but for me, I was feeling relatively confident, mainly because 303 was actually crawling through Fostoria when we saw it go through, but of course, we had no idea about its current whereabouts and whether if it sped up or not. So then in the middle of the route, I decided to punch in directions to a different crossing that was further west, as I discussed a little bit ago, just to raise the chances of catching it. Makes sense, right? Well, as soon as me and Ryan and David rolled into the small town of Leipsic, Google Maps pulled something that was in the complete opposite realm of funny. It tried taking us down a different road, but then immediately rerouted us back to the road it was going to take us originally. So I had to do this illegal U-turn to get back over there, and then while I was doing so, me and the boys heard the dreaded sound of a third-gen K5HL flying up towards the nearby crossing. We all tried to hurry to the crossing that we were going to at the very last second, but it was like 10 seconds too late. And all we got out of this entire thing was this crappy little 10-second out the car shot. And yeah, that was it. Actually, scratch that. Y'all thought the story ended there? Well, unfortunately, I can't say it does. So, on another day, Thursday, June 6th, me and Ryan only went south to the Chicago line after I got out of work to get NS 880 with a really neat BNSF lash-up in which we actually did succeed on getting. But yeah, when we got to the Chicago line, we as well went over there in little hopes of getting a shot of redemption at 6963, since at this time and this day, it was actually leading NS 309 out of Birmingham, New York, and this time, I was pretty confident that me and Ryan had it in the bag this time, since it had a really neat lash up and it was like getting out of Toledo or going into Toledo. One of the two, we were not sure at all. But it still had to work Amherst, Ohio, and a few other places. But, well, guess what happened as soon as we shown up to Swanton after tons of traffic and other forms of rushing to go get it? We miss it. Again. By like 5 minutes. So at this point, I just basically gave up on catching 6963. Even though I had multiple chances of catching it when it was still on the L11, L70, L71 cycle in Fostoria for months, I still wasn't able to get it because of my terrible luck. So I just said, F it, what's done is done. The paper's in the basket and the shit's in the sink. I filled up the car at a nearby gas station and silently drove in defeat to McDonald's so we can all eat and start heading back afterwards. Thankfully, though, our moods changed after some time, after some chilling at McDonald's and talking it out and stuff. Well, I at least decided to laugh it all off and say, well, hey, shit happens, and we'll get her next time. And I guess this also sums up my absolute hot garbage luck with trying to catch any of the special NS SD60Es. Like, I literally just can't catch them. For example, that one day when me and Ryan were chasing the NS safety train on the Wabash line, which was a whole lot of fun, by the way, a regular AC-44 C6M ended up leading it because, well, NS 911, which was originally going to lead the train to Rawsonville, got sent to Bellevue last minute for a number of different goofy reasons. And as of just recently, 6920 got involved in a wreck, so that's going to be off the table for me to catch for a good while. And then now this, 6963 going flat out Roadrunner mode on me while I'm trying to chase it like Wile E. Coyote. And yeah, like I said before, it was on the L11, L70 cycle for months, even though I wasn't able to catch it for some goofy reason. I don't know why I keep on saying goofy, but it's Gen Alpha, okay? Welcome to the today times. I hate it here. So I just came to this conclusion that I'm literally not able to catch any of the special NS SD60Es at the moment, which really makes me sad because the SD60Es are actually my favorite EMD rebuilds that NS has in their fleet. Even though I've heard that they could be real mechanical nightmares according to NS themselves, but I personally just think they look cool. But just like any day and scenario like these, I just got up and said womp womp and just took the L. And also came up with the idea of making this video to get over this whole thing faster. but man, still, what a dumpster fire this all still was. Big ol' stinky, fiery dumpster fire. Oh yeah, that's all I have for today, folks. I hope y'all enjoyed this video of me subtly complaining about not being able to catch some goofy SD60Es. But if you did anyway enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more future content if you haven't already. And comment below if you guys want to see more content like this, where I just simply sit behind a screen and tell some stories about how certain railfanning journeys of mine went and other bullshiz like that. Maybe I'll eventually change it up and make a video like this talking about a different topic, like a top 10 video. Nah, I'll probably be seen as a poser at that point if I did that, but we'll see. Maybe. But for now though, this is G.C.R. Productions signing out. See y'all next time.